plenty of people before who have come into stream and been like, well, how do I start? Just do it. And you just kind of say hi. Say hi every day to the same people. You read their names out so they stick in your head. And you remember, like, everybody's little stories, like, immediate on chat, like, straight away. YouTube is a lot more forgiving.
Also, like, pretty toxic. I've been
it's real bad.
I've been in there,
it's real bad.
Tick toxic, for real. Let's talk about Marathon.
I thought you'd never ask.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one-on-one interview with a fellow gaming content creator. Today, I have the chance to speak with a woman that may hold more excitement inside for Marathon than any person on the planet. Actually, not holding it inside very well at this point. But from teaching grades in Destiny 2, cracking jokes on Twitch, and just any chance to watch her content is sure to be an enjoyable time. My friend and fellow Pitbull enjoyer, Lumi. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. I'm glad we got the Pitbull. It's very important to me.
Had to get it off nearly instantaneously. But no, I am thankful for your time. It is a busy time for anyone who has any interest in Marathon, just in general. And so I can't wait to talk about that today. I think it's going to be awesome. But let me get some housekeeping out of the way, and then we'll get right in. Guys, thank you very much for all your love and support on the recent episodes. We appreciate you coming back week after week. And the comments are super poignant on this channel. I love reading your comments, what you guys are taking away, and how they're affecting you. I've had people reach out and say that they're starting down their content creation journey because of these conversations. So I appreciate you guys. If you consider that valuable, maybe consider liking and subscribing to the channel. But let's get into it. Lumi, for those who don't know you, can you give us a quick rundown of who you are, the content you make, and what you enjoy to put out on the interwebs?
Absolutely. We'll go with the classic YouTube intro of, hi, I'm Lumi. I'm a Destiny 2 content creator, mostly. I got into it in Witch Queen, which was about two years ago, nearly 3 years ago now. And I've been solely focused on Destiny since. I was a variety streamer before then, and I've only just started on YouTube, like this year, which has been very scary.
Yeah.
But it's been good. It's been a cool journey.
Awesome.
For sure.
So what kind of content do you primarily touch in Destiny?
We are endgame PvE. We are raid helps, dungeon helps, any endgame quests, exotics, cool challenges. We just did Solo Witness. We made a guide on Solo Witness.
There you go.
It's been really good.
Yeah. Guide did very well as well.
Guide did well. I was really happy.
That's awesome. So I want to get into the specifics of like different platforms here in a second, but like, let's rewind the clock even more. Like, how did you get started with gaming, and then to the point where you're like, you know what, I want to take this passion I have and actually like pursue something with it, putting it out there for the world? So,
big shout out to my dad.
Okay.
My dad was a big World of Tanks gamer. I don't know if you know World of Tanks, but he's super into that. Still plays it now, nearly 60, by the way.
That's awesome.
Still gaming. He essentially got us into Pokemon when we were kids. Me and my little sister, first thing we ever had was a Nintendo DS. Pokemon Soul Silver, still the greatest Pokemon game out there. Still the best one. And we went from DSs to Wii's because we played as a family, and then GameCube, Pokemon, and then slowly to an Xbox, and then slowly to a PC. And my first PC was built by my dad with scraps in the attic.
Nice.
It ran terribly, but it managed to. I could play basic stuff, Phasmophobia, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I used to game. I got my first Xbox when I was 16. I used to play Apex and GTA 5, and they were the only things I could play because they're the only things I could afford at the time. And yeah, I used to play a lot of Apex. That was like the first real thing I streamed.
Okay.
But the reason I started streaming was actually Dead by Daylight.
Okay.
I played a random match. I think it was like a Saturday evening or something, and there's somebody else in the game who I was playing with, another runner, who managed to escape, and then they messaged me through Xbox chat, and they said, "Yo, that was sick!" And I was like, "Oh, thank you, awesome, cheers." And she said, "Do you want to play it? I'm a girl." And I thought, okay, stranger danger. This is definitely. I believe you. So I had one of my male friends join the call with me just in case.
Yeah.
And no, she was a girl.
Awesome.
And she introduced me to Twitch. I had never heard of it before.
Okay.
I had never heard of streaming at all in any way until it came to Dead by Daylight and meeting that lady. And she said, I stream on Twitch. And I said, what the hell is that? And she showed me her stream, and I met people through there and other friends, lots of Americans. Spent a lot of late nights and very early mornings.
Oh, yeah.
Playing with Canadians. Ruined my sleep schedule for months. And she said, and a lot of people in the stream said, she's funny, she should stream. And I said, well, should I? I really need to. That's for unemployed people stream. Right?
It's true. It is very true.
Just me now. And then, it turned out, a lot of people I was in the back of her streams quite a lot, and people said, she's funny. You should do something with this. And it's always something that, I think it's a quality that I've praised about myself, and I'm glad I've taken it so far with me to streaming, is being funny.
Sure.
Try my best, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And I started with, just like everybody does, 3 views, Apex streaming on Xbox quality, 30 frames. Oh, stunning quality.
Three views, and 2 of them are your devices.
Yeah, one of them's me. One of them's my dad in the other room.
Right, yeah. That's awesome.
And then I told my dad what I was doing, and I was like, I really enjoy this. I play games every evening after school. Why would I not, try and make some new friends on the internet? Seems perfectly safe.
Yeah.
Moved the PC. My dad came and bought a webcam with me and the pink Razer headset with the cat ears.
Okay. Yeah.
Staple of any gamer girl's career. And I streamed Phasmophobia, and I still have clips from that first stream. I'm so glad I have them.
That's awesome.
Terrible quality, horrible mic quality, but they're excellent.
Yeah. So what was that like kind of facing down the challenge or whatever internal dialogue you had when you're hearing people, you're receiving that feedback saying, you should do this, you should stream, I think you have the personality or the chops for it, whatever it may be. What was it like actually trying to cross that barrier and saying, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Try to push into that, because I know that that's a sticking point for a lot of people.
I think for me, I have pretty bad social anxiety. Outdoors public speaking was always something that terrified me in school. I once fainted in an English class because I had to give a presentation. Could not stick it.
Yeah.
So I think it was kind of, I wanted to put myself out there a little bit. Doesn't matter if nobody watches. It's I'm there. Somebody will see it at some point, and I'll have to talk to random people.
Sure.
And it was kind of overcoming that fear by myself, I guess, and having other friends that play games and that kind of thing. And then I guess the other side of it is just, I play games. I play games all the time. I've met some wonderful people on the internet, and why not? Why would I not meet more through people who share the same interest and are gonna play the same game? If they want to watch me and chat to me, more people to talk to. I'm happy with that.
Yep.
I'm good with that.
So
and
I've
said this
kind of like you think kind of like almost like it was a beneficial thing. It's almost like if it works, right? There's a lot of upside to it on that side, but then there was also a lot of upside on it in the personal realm too. You're like, hey, I might be able to grow, get out of my box and do that. Does that sound right?
I've also said to plenty of people before who have come into stream and been like, well, how do I start? Just do it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where if you're playing a game, you're only playing the game. If you have the facilities to go live, you might as well. Because, look, if no people come in, that's fine. Because you've gone live, you've still pushed the button, you've still put yourself out there. But then if people do come in, you're still playing the same game you would be anyway, but then you get the added addition of talking to people.
Yeah. Do you think there's a level to those people who are in that trap, right? Let's say it's like a 0 to 10 streamer thing. And don't get me wrong, having 10 people who are sitting there watching you do your thing, that's a good amount of people. If you thought you're sitting down on a couch in your living room, you had 10 people sitting around you watching you play that. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people doing that. And so it's not going to happen overnight. And it's not gonna explode and do that. But I guess my thought is, what advice would you have for someone? What are the things they can be getting better at before the numbers show up, right? Before they hit that affiliate and the partner, and they have these things. What are the things that they should be trying to get better at, stream over stream, instead of just playing video games for 10 hours straight, and then it's okay, I'm gonna go to bed, do the same thing to one or two viewers.
Waffle. Yap.
Yeah.
I'm excellent at this because I yap all the time. Can't shut up. Chatterbox since I was a kid. Just talk out loud. You're thinking in your head, when you play a game, right? You say you're playing Apex. Oh, there's a guy over there, and I'm going to pick up this ammo on the floor. Just say it out loud. Literally, just talk.
Yep.
Because if people come into a silent stream, they're less likely to say hello, I found, or they find it more awkward to introduce themselves. Yap away. And that feeling of like, I'm talking to nobody will slowly just kind of fade.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as awkward anymore.
Yeah.
The more you do it, I definitely say that.
Yeah.
Is my main point that I've told people when they're starting out.
I think that's great. I sometimes I struggle with that too. My favorite time for me personally streaming is when I'm teaching a raid, because I'm talking to the people, right? Like I'm talking and I'm doing what I love to do and what I think I'm like best at, right? Like it is kind of articulating this thing to people who might struggle with X, Y, or Z, whatever we're talking about. And that's where I'll see people, like my retention on streams goes up because I'm talking the entire time, right? Like I'm doing that, but I'm not necessarily, it's more natural for me because I'm not necessarily like having to do the thing of like, hey, I've heard people make the suggestion of like ask chat open questions so they can actually answer it. And it's it's a conversation and they can do that and stuff. But I feel like people get really wrapped up on like, hey, oh, okay, well my stream doesn't look good enough, or I'm like, I don't have the all the channel point stuff set up and the bots and everything. And I'm like, I think you nailed it on the head where it's like, hey, there are things internally to you that cost $0.00 or whatever currency you want to put it in. Like you can be the best streamer, or you can be better today as a streamer without spending any money, by just communicating with those people and treating them as if they're in the room. Just that same example of like, if you had 10 people sitting right around you, you're not just going to sit there awkward. Well, maybe you would, but like, hopefully you wouldn't, you would be interacting with people like, did you see that? That kind of stuff. So anything else on like crossing that? I like that. I didn't have that plan, but I like that little subject of like crossing that little chasm there.
Well, it's like, so I only hit partner last year, which is the biggest milestone I could hit as a Twitch streamer. And it was, I saw in myself the things that changed about my own stream. Like the advice I would give people now from somebody that started it as a hobby, slowly transferred, like COVID was obviously, a big time for a lot of people to stream.
Sure.
And then moving into deciding that I actually wanted to do this full time. And that was that's a really difficult barrier to cross, in my opinion. That's the harder barrier, is I want to do this full time. But for me, Yap is number one. Learn how to just waffle constantly all the time. Doesn't matter if anybody's listening to you, just talk. 2 would be consistency. You do not need a 14-hour stream. For me, I found the best is when I go live the same time every single day to the same end every single day. That time slot of 6 hours is what I'm on at the moment. Perfect. Same time every single. Go live at the same, so people know. If you have a schedule, get that posted. Put it on your TikTok stories, your Instagram stories. Put it in your bio. For me, same time, 12 every day until everybody knows that's when I'm going live.
I think that's great as well. Can you talk to me a little bit about as someone who, I'm just affiliate, Twitch is not my main platform by any means. It's much more on the YouTube side of things, but you hear a lot about that conversation. I mean, last year Twitch, they made it easier than ever to become an affiliate. They kind of lowered the barrier of entry to that, which I think is great. It offers monetization options to streamers to actually maybe pursue that more strategically and be able to make those decisions and help reinforce that. What has that actually been? And like, you hear mixed reports on like how much becoming a partner actually, changes things and shifts things for you. What has that experience actually been like for you? If
we're being completely honest, which I usually am with my audience, a lot more money.
Okay.
My paycheck doubled. It was so nice. It was like, holy, I can make a living, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm always very frank, and I try to be as honest with people as possible about the streaming journey and about the income I make, because I know people are interested in that kind of thing.
Sure.
And I don't mind telling you. That's fine with me. Partner was definitely a big change in split for me, which helped a lot. I was bumped up to 60-40.
Okay.
Which was like, big chunk, big 10%. It's nice. Yeah. The thing that has changed before I hit partner and after I hit partner was the way they did the 70-30 split, because they changed that to be Partner Plus. So then if the Partner Plus program is you need so many subs a month to unlock a 60-40 split, and then you need so many more subs a month to hit a 70-30 split, which, I'll be honest, felt like a little bit of a kick in the teeth. I've worked all this way to hit Partner, I've got this average, and now I have to not get the split that everybody else gets. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's a good thing in the long run, because it means that people are actually earning their partner. It's not you've got the tick, that's it. You have to keep it up. It's not something that's just there, sticks, and you're done with it.
Sure.
The Partner Plus thing is 1 sub equals 1 point. You have to get 100 points to get a split. And I like it. It means that you have to actually be active on the platform to, earn properly, and that's fine. That's completely reasonable.
For gamers, we like to gamify things sometimes, and so there is a bit of that on Twitch, and I think that even for our viewers, I think that there is some of the best streams that I'm in are the places where they really, really take the streamer point piece, right? Like the channel points, and they say, hey, like, here are the things you can do with this. And that's something that I've definitely not nailed at this point, and working through some things and stuff of that sort. So, but no, I think it, like I said in the intro, it's always fun popping into your stream. I think Llama does a great job of being consistent and stuff too, with his stream. And we've talked about that, how he shifted from the YouTube side of things, and then said, he's like, well, I create YouTube videos, and then really dialed in on being a streamer. But now I want to talk to you about, what does that actually look like to go from one side to the other, right? Like, go from Twitch to now trying to branch out, because I've seen you, obviously you popped up. I don't follow that many people on TikTok, so like I always see your TikTok streams when they come up because of that. And then also, obviously, you said, I looked back, the first, like, there were a few little like YouTube videos you had put on your channel, but like the first really dialed in, like, hey, we're kicking this off again, was about 7 months ago on your channel. What has that process been like, kind of flipping on end and saying, hey, we're going to do the streamer to now VOD or other platforms?
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, if we focus on multi-streaming first, multi-streaming was a little scary, because TikTok, you have to have so many followers or so many of this, and this to be able to stream on the platform. So that was hurdle number 1, was getting enough on TikTok to be able to stream on TikTok.
Sure.
Same with YouTube, is pushing as many people as I can from streams to be like, go sub here so I can do stuff on here and actually get monetized on here. And I've spoken about this before. Twitch is the only platform that's backwards. With every other platform, you post on YouTube, you grow on YouTube. You post on TikTok, you grow on TikTok. Twitch, you kind of have to siphon that from other platforms, and I think it's easier going from YouTube to Twitch. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll Llama. YouTube it's been cool. I've been enjoying the journey. I hate editing. It's my worst nightmare, which is why I have Crampit. He's been a godsend, because he has helped me learn the basics of what I can do with free platforms like CapCut or DaVinci Resolve. And we have a bit of a system where I do most of my own edits. In terms of footage, I record it all of that, and I'll kind of splice it together, and then I ship it off to Liam to do all of the fancy like zooms and subtitles and all of the things I can't do on like a free platform. And it's been good. I've been enjoying it. It's definitely scary. YouTube is scary. I'm constantly looking at the number like, it's gotta go up.
That has been like, I've gotten some people on here and I've asked them that question, like, how long did it take you to mute the notifications for like YouTube Studio and things of that sort? And there's so many people who have way more self-control than I ever did, because those early days, I remember, it was just like, constant refreshing. Now I've gotten to the place where it's like, hey, I feel like I have enough of a inner understanding of like, hey, I like this video, and so I think it's worthy of being on the channel. And so if people resonate with it, that's great. If not, that's fine. Sometimes I'll have things surprise me, and then I'll try to replicate that exact same video, and then it won't do anything after. Like it is such a crapshoot on whether or not YouTube grabs it. But I do think it's interesting that early conversation. So we've said it on other shows, but I'll say it again here. To become monetized on YouTube, for anyone at home who's wondering, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. In my experience, on the 2 channels that I've built so far, the watch hours come much faster than the subscribers do.
Really?
And that's typically that for me. That was what it was.
I'm the other way around right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, one thing I will say is your videos are a little shorter than mine are, so people could sit through. If they sit through even the entirety of some of the shorter videos, I could see that being a little harder. Whereas some of my Yap session, especially the podcast. Podcast. I mean, I think my early like Ages podcast was enough watch hours in and of itself to be able to
make longer videos. I'm writing that out.
It's coming up to about the 10,000 mark with the views. So for like podcasts, I'm super thrilled on that. And then, but right now, I think I hit like 640 subscribers on this channel, like with the Jake the All Right video that just came out. But what I'm trying to do is find ways to keep that length of content, but then get a variety of content. So some reactionary things, some talking to. I like doing videos on like I did this back with Destiny Rising, which was talking to experts, like gotcha game experts, and people who know way more about the game than I do, because I have no problem being the avatar that's like the ignorant person of like, hey, I have no idea how this works. Because guess what? I actually am. Like, it's not me playing something. It's like, I don't know how gotcha games work. And so I didn't, but I knew that I liked playing Destiny Rising. So it was something. I'm kind of in a similar place with Marathon, where I don't know what I don't know about extraction shooters. And I'm hitting that friction point a little bit. So I'm like, I might as well make content about the fact that I don't know. And hopefully I find a viewer on the other end who also wants to like it and do that too. So I bring it back to the point of, needing that and needing to get to that point of, the subscribers and the watch hours and stuff. It's super easy to just keep refreshing and hoping for that and stuff. But I think the consistency piece for me has been, just like you said, for the Twitch side of things, the consistency piece with YouTube is so critical. Yeah. Because every video is sending signals out. Are you just doing live streams? I haven't seen like short, or I'm sorry, not live streams. Long form?
Full videos.
Yeah. Are you doing any kind of short form on YouTube or anything of that sort?
Usually if I post TikToks, I'll post them on YouTube Shorts as well. Yeah. So then I've got everything going out on both platforms.
For sure.
And then I've been starting to multi-stream to YouTube as well. Okay. Because I think that contributes to watch hours.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe?
Yes, it does.
So
yes, it does.
We're going to try and bump up some watch hours.
That was actually one of the questions I wanted to ask you, is what your thought was on that. Because I hear often that it can be difficult for some people to, especially when you're successful on one platform more than the other, to focus in on. Now, my split when I stream on the multiple platforms is like YouTube, like 80 or 90 viewers, Twitch, 8 or 9 viewers. It's like a tenth of, and it just is. It is what it is, because a lot of people have found my channel through YouTube, and I've always streamed to YouTube. Like every single one of my streams, if you ever wanted to see the VOD content, is on YouTube as well. Which I don't think that there's a lot of like historical, like people going back and watching. But that's not always true, because when I've done streams that have like a specific, because you can give them specific thumbnails and you can give them specific titles and you can create this product, right? Like in live, almost like produce a video and just be like, hey, we're going to roll with it and do that. It's kind of an interesting, an interesting experience. I remember when Llama was trying to do his ethical solo witness back in the day. Like I would go back if I missed it live and just try, because I wanted to see what he was struggling with. It wasn't like I knew he was going to do it at some point, but I wanted to see like, okay, how'd he die here? Or how'd this happen? So you can learn quite a bit. So yeah, what has your experience been with the streaming to the YouTube side as well? How has that felt?
Quiet, very quiet.
Sure.
It's nice because it's just another platform. It's also, I found YouTube is really behind Twitch. Mm-hmm. If I Twitch stream and YouTube stream at the same time, YouTube is like a good minute behind.
Okay.
So it's actually nice because it means that I can catch up on that chat a little bit after my usual stream.
I see.
I usually do YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch at the same time.
Okay.
which has been okay. It's not been that bad. TikTok is very demanding. I've learned with TikTok streaming, it is very demanding. You need to speak to people now or they will leave. It's like immediate on chat, like straight away. YouTube is a lot more forgiving.
Also, like, pretty toxic. I've been there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's real bad.
I've been in there, yeah.
It's real bad.
Tick toxic, for real, because I'll be in there, I'll be watching your stream, you're trying solo witness stuff, and I'm like, you would never say these things to a person if you were actually in front of them, dude. But you feel so crazy. Strong in front of that iPhone or that Android keyboard, dude.
It's
like,
hilarious.
I hope you feel cool.
We have I have a dedicated Discord channel called People Being and it's literally screenshots of people who have come in from TikTok chat saying, "Oh my god, a woman playing Destiny!" And it's
my god.
Oh, come on, what are we doing in the year of our Lord 2026? Jesus.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. TikTok chat is the worst of all three by far.
Yeah,
it's,
and I mean,
it's horrible.
I've not been in your YouTube chat, but I've been in both your Twitch and TikTok chats. I can confirm that is
real
rough.
bad.
And even though, like, some of the stuff that comes through, it is very unfortunate, but it is like gender based and then game based and things of that sort. So like, but the gender based thing, obviously, I wouldn't have that. But like, I get comments of like, you get like weight comments or you get whatever, and I'm like, bro, like, hold up, I'm over 30. I'm 30. I got a wife and a kid on the way. I don't care what a person who's in my chat says about anything about me. Like, I go work out multiple times a week. I drink more water than you could even imagine. Like, I'm doing what I can and what I want to do, and all of that to say, like, I think that takes time though. Right, like that takes time to become centered in that, because it goes back to even what you said back in grade school, right? Like feeling that weight of whatever you are, whatever like mental blocks you may have or insecurities and things, and you're doing that. And I feel like when you build community, right? Like that's one thing. Like early on when we met, like I quickly identified was like, oh, Lumi has a very distinct community of people around her. Like she has fostered that. And so is that for everyone? That might not be, but that's the same way my community is not for like, I'll get PvP or PvE edgelords that come in that want to speed run and everything. I'm like, hey, that's not my server. Yeah. You come in, we're doing teaching runs. Like we're slowing it down. We're making sure people actually know what they're doing. It may be their very first raid they've ever done. Sorry, bro, this might not be the place for you. And you do that and move along, do whatever. But how has that worked for you, like finding who you are, but then also like establishing your community of people?
I like everybody. I have no problem with you unless you say something awful to me first.
Sure.
And that's usually the rule I live by. I mean, if you like Destiny, I like Destiny, and that's fine. My duo, my PvE duo, is actually a PvP main who absolutely decimates the Crucible, and it's nothing to do with me, and I don't touch it.
Sure.
But it's nice having that somebody, because if someone comes in being like, oh, I'm playing PvP, do I use this? I can be like, right, him.
Yep.
Talk to him. Don't talk to me. I don't care. And usually, if I don't know something, I'm very happy to be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know, you're saying words about shooting other people. I try and accept everybody. The only people who I will actively tell to go away are people who are being awful for no particular reason. TikTok chat, mostly.
Yes.
But it's mostly people who just come in every day, and you just start remembering names, and you see like what streaks have been introduced on Twitch, and you can see how many people have tuned in on every stream, and people are somebody hit 90 today.
Yeah.
Damn, you've been here every day for 90 streams.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's so cool. So, and then you see people who put their like 3 streaks in. It's like they're showing that I am going to keep coming back, and I am going to keep having a look at this stream, and you just kind of say hi every day to the same people. You read their names out so they stick in your head, and you remember like everybody's little stories. And oh, well, what you did this yesterday. You mentioned yesterday in stream that you went to the shop. What did you buy? How was dinner? Like those little things that keep people coming back, because you make those tiny little connections over and over again with everybody. I get a couple people that don't even like Destiny, but they come to sit and chat and just have, some background noise or something like that. And it's just creating an environment where people can sit and just chat about, even if it's not about the game, it doesn't really matter. Just tell me how your day's going. I don't really mind.
Yeah. I love
somebody
that.
to talk to.
I love seeing in chat when people start like, I guess I don't want people to necessarily like completely derail things, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so far gone, like no one's paying attention,
Yeah.
you know. And it's not even that like, oh, I need to be the center of attention of it. It's like you're already on my channel, like that's fine. Like the view is active if you're talking about something, but it's more like, hey, let's not go too off the deep end, because it's hard. It can be hard to moderate that sometimes. But I do love when people start making connections within the chat with people that maybe they've never even met before. I have a strong pull. I don't know. I've had a lot of success not only on YouTube but like Discord as well. Like just getting people into Discord and then having them be able to meet each other and play. And one of my big goals for a long time, because I've played Destiny since, like, you know, and I've talked about this multiple times, but Destiny 2 I've played like since it dropped. And I think we all dropped off around that Curse of Osiris time, but then like came back for Forsaken. And since Forsaken, I have played Destiny 2 like religiously. And in that time, I had done a lot of helping for like my local clan, you know, just like my clan, my 100, 150, you know, person Discord, as we were increasing and doing that. And then it wasn't until I turned the corner, started doing this content and realizing that like I was not enough by myself. Like I could not help as many people that wanted help. I couldn't do this. And that's why I started creating the videos that I was creating. That's why I started creating, you know, systems and bringing in people and be like, hey, I'm going to do a very, very direct Sherpa teaching night and teach you guys how I teach these raids so you can expand off of that and do that. And kind of do that. And it touches on the point you made about like bringing in the people, like the PvP people or the people who are really good at Hunter, and I play Titan primarily. So like if you need a Titan thing, hit me up. But like I'm going to defer to this person about the nuances and the differences. There's something to be said about creating, even if it's not like a formal team, but like creating and surrounding yourself by people who are better than you at things, right?
Yeah.
And knowing that you can delegate. Like, how has that felt with, like, you know, we've even talked about Liam. He's going to have a big head after this episode. Because for full transparency, Liam also edits some of my content, and he edits all of these podcast episodes. So we love Liam, but with that, like, how has that been, like, delegating portions of this journey you've had and said, like, hey, because I know when I'm live, there's some things I just can't do. Like if people are asking me for things, I'm like, oh, I need to find that link to send this person or to do this. I'm like, I can't do this. And then I get people to do that. How has that been for you?
It's been all right. I think I'm very, very grateful to quite a lot of my friends who are just people that are, you know, in the community, mods, so to speak, people I grew up with, that know how to play the game. And if I say, well, there's somebody in chat that needs a carry, don't crypt, I can be like, right, you two, let's go, we're gonna go do this.
Sure.
Because I'm a one-woman army and I can do a lot of things, but I can't do everything. I can't, if I need 6 people to say for an all stasis run, which is what we did today, I can't clone myself as much as I'd like to.
Yeah.
And having those friends that I've grown up with that have also played the game, or people that I've met through the game and now trust and talk to every day outside of stream, really help. And gotta shout him out, Lomedy too. Love that guy. We've been running raid days every week now, like every Thursday is a raid day, and it's brilliant. It's so nice. I met him through the creator Discord, ran an event for Desert Perpetual. It's actually run by Sammy Cat, and it was an all prismatic Desert Perpetual, and you can only use prismatic abilities, and you have to buy your abilities. It's really cool. And through that group, I've met really cool people, including Llama. And now we host raid days together. And it's like, if somebody asks me for a build, if I don't have it, he does.
Yeah.
He obviously does. He's the build guy. And it's nice having each other to bounce off. I know when we do Epic Desert Perpetual, we have our set roles. We know where the other one's going to be. I can see it when we play now that we're like, there's like that little connection of we've played together so much that we know where the other one's going to be.
Sure.
Oh, that person's died. We know that one of us is going to, like, we're already there. We're already speaking for each other. And it's great. It's wonderful. I love it. I love having somebody more competent than me because I know I can trust him completely with whatever we're doing. He's got it. And I can be like, right, let's do this, this, and this. And he'll be like, right, already done. Like, Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's been a joy, and I think that's also something too where like it so surprised me. So I was looking back as well in prep for this, like last April is when you came into the Creator Hub Discord, and I've talked about that here on the channel before. And I came in, I think it was like late May, so it wasn't too long after, but it was close to about 2 months. And with that, and I mean that's how you and I met for the first time, like just through things inside that Discord. One thing that has surprised me so much has been the camaraderie between creators. They're just, even with like this show, this podcast, this channel, whatever you want to call it. I've never even formalized what this is. It's kind of like just a single podcast that exists on this channel. But this would not exist had it not been for the fact that I reached out to, you know, person A, B, and C, whatever, and said like, hey, I'd like to talk to you about this. Here's my pitch for what we would talk about. And people be like, yeah, let's do it. Like, no problem. I told my wife at one point, she was asking me, she said, well, who would you love to talk to and do whatever? And I told her, I was like, I would love to talk with Aegis. And she had no idea who Aegis is. She's like, oh yeah, that's cool, honey. And I'm like, I said, I'd love to talk with him because I think I could ask him a lot of questions and he has such insight about the game. I sent him a DM 2 days later and I got back like right after. It was like almost instantly. And like, so I had made it out to be this huge thing. And that's not to be taken in a way of like, hey, like, you know, if you don't get a one word like positive response from your favorite creator or like whoever instantaneously, you need to be sad about that. Like I've gotten many no's as well, and that is perfectly fine as well. It's just one of those things where I've been super surprised with the cooperation, and I've not really felt a ton of, maybe it's because Destiny's long in the tooth and we're so far now that people have this like mutual respect for anyone who's still playing the game and doing it. What has your experience been with just meeting other creators in this space that we share? I'm
actually so glad you brought this up. This is my favorite thing in the world. I am the most grateful person on planet Earth. I'm in such a position that I am so grateful for, and I've spoken about this 1,000 times, because I speak to Bife on a regular basis because he's my friend, and I get to call the law guy, the guy that everybody knows. Sure. I get to call him my friend, and I talk to him because he's my friend. It's like, dude, like 15-year-old me would be like blowing up right now. Right. She would be insane. And it's crazy. It's crazy how nice people are. They're wonderful. And something that I'm also really grateful for is Jam, who's my other half. He has pushed me in ways that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. I wouldn't be on this podcast right now if it wasn't for him. It's like, he has told me so many times, just DM. Just send them a message. The worst they can say is no. Just go. Just do it. It doesn't matter. Because I'll sit there worrying, like, well, what if they say no? What if it's yes and no? And, what if they say yes? And Jam just says, just send it. Yeah. Just go and just send it and just talk. And I've met incredible creators that I've looked up to my entire life because of the Creator Discord and because of him and because of that overcoming the fear of talking to these really cool people that I look up to. Yeah. It's been amazing. It's awesome. Been my favorite thing about getting into or growing as a creator and getting into the Destiny Creator Hub has been meeting these incredible people. Like meeting you is really cool. And I think the first time we properly played was on my Raidathon. You came and joined for a raid.
It was.
Which is super awesome. And I think I said after.
You put out an all call. I don't know if I can't remember if it was on Twitter, if it was Discord, what it was. But Twitter. Just, probably. And just all call like, hey, I'm looking for people. And it's the same idea, right? Like where I have this same internal, monologue where I'm like, what if not, like all these things. And it always for me, because like my wife has played Destiny. She has consumed negative Destiny content. Like I guess she's consumed some of mine because it's in her algorithm on TikTok or whatever. But I don't think she's ever like intentionally sought out a video. So I'm just telling her I'm talking to people like Llama, Toad, and she's like, who are these farm animals that we're just getting? She's like, you're like Noah's Ark over there collecting for the Great Flood. And I'm like, I understand, honestly, valid. And so, but she has like such a base take with it where she's like, at this point, this is what you're doing for a job. So you got to view it as like business to business, right? Yeah. Like if you're doing that and if it's mutually beneficial, then it makes sense. to do that. But then what's such a joy about it, right? So having worked in, corporate jobs and doing that kind of stuff before this, it's like, okay, all those decisions, right? Like if you want to boil down what we do to a business to business type thing, like a mutually beneficial, those things don't often provide a benefit externally, right? For the world, like some sort of form of entertainment or something like that. But I think the best things that we can do is when we provide like the entertainment, the education piece, and then also just like this community aspect. I think that's something with the D2 side of things where we're giving people a place to belong, whether it's in our Discord or in our Twitch chats, stuff of that sort, where they can come back for their routine. And so that's been a very special thing on my side, as well with that.
100%. It is making a community, and there's people who I've met through stream who I would call my best friends. I met Jam, who's my other half, who I now live with, through Destiny and through streaming, which I know sometimes ends up in a horror story, but I am the happiest woman in the world, and I wouldn't have the position I have without where I am now.
Sure.
And the people I'm closest to, and the friends I talk to every day, outside of stream, I've met through Destiny and streaming, and it's like I wouldn't have any of this without that, and it's wonderful. It's so nice.
It's awesome. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the streaming side of things. We talked a lot about the Destiny side of things. However, I want to shift now and talk about the game of the moment, what you've been waiting on for so long. Let's talk about Marathon.
I thought you'd never ask.
So since I've known you, I feel like there's always just been this like air of excitement around the game. And like I don't even know, like maybe it got brought up by someone in chat or something, but I remember early on hearing like how excited you were for the game. But I wanted to ask, like, where does that originally stem from? Is that from a love for extraction shooters? Is that a love for Bungie stuff, or is it like Todos, like all the above, like everything?
Everything. I love Destiny. Have loved Destiny since it launched. I really am a big Tarkov player. I've been a Tarkov player for we must be coming up on 4 years, maybe ish. And I played my first 4 wipes. I went hard, like 2 weeks, no sleep, I'm in.
Wow.
And I loved it. The difficulty and the challenge of Tarkov is like nothing I've ever played. It's like crack. It's amazing. It's just, with Destiny, I'd hit a point where I felt good enough at the game, and I was finding challenges, and I'm finding like solo witness and solo forest dungeons. I'm finding the difficult things to do because they're the things I enjoy the most. It's challenging myself to do insane stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Tarkov is like, it's hell on earth. It's the most awful, terrible game I have ever played in my life. It has a learning curve as steep as a line. It's awful.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about it. I like that it's difficult and it's a challenge, and I have to learn what each healing item does, and like all the maps, and I have to learn every little nook and cranny of where stuff is going to spawn. And that aspect of difficulty and challenge is something that I really, really enjoy. Compared with Destiny, of finding challenges to do in Destiny, smushing the two together of Bungie gunplay and Tarkov, love child, right up my alley. We are ticking a lot of boxes.
Yeah. And then you mentioned as well, I actually, I don't know, do you do anything on Instagram? Do you post on like any of your content stuff?
Sometimes.
I don't, so I haven't, but I've been getting more consistent with it. And I finally had my first real actually like catch on Instagram recently, and it was me comparing Marathon to Apex, but sluggish. Like it's not like the we said that like Marathon is like Marathon's movement is Apex for the employed, but like it's like you're not like. And then I had the guy, his name's Drew, shout out Drew as well. He clipped that for me, and then he put it, and I had him I tasked him with find the most chaotic Apex movement you can, like to put over top of it, and he did a great job. He found an awesome clip, and I threw that on there. But you mentioned earlier, like with the Apex background as well. Do you agree? Do you feel like Marathon kind of? I feel like it kind of favors that, like in the looting system, opening doors, throwing things around. Like, how do you feel about that comparison as well? Like, Apex,
I understand why people say that a lot, and when I first in the alpha, I kind of was like, yeah, I agree. After playing several playtests and the server slam, which was last weekend, I disagree more. It feels like Apex because, in my opinion, because of the trios and the amount of people on a map with how small the maps are. If you compare it to Tarkov maps are massive. Tarkov maps are huge.
Gotcha.
And you only have 10 people on a map at most.
Wow.
Or 20 people on a map at most on a huge map. And Marathon is definitely more, not battle royale, but I understand why people would compare it to Apex.
Sure.
In terms of, you're sprinting through buildings, you're grabbing everything you can. The difference, and I've explained this on stream quite recently, actually.
Okay.
The major difference for people to understand what Marathon actually is in a battle royale, your goal is to kill and be the last one standing, right? Your goal is to kill everybody else or fight to the end.
Sure.
And then that's it. Win, done. You don't take any of that out. You don't, I'm going to pick up this gun off the floor and I'm going to take that with me into my next run. That's not it. It's not there. You are solely kill or be killed. That's it. You win. Marathon, people need to understand it has more depth. And I think it gets compared a lot. Obviously, there's been a lot of Marathon Arc Raiders comparisons.
Yeah, for sure.
God, so many. But Marathon it is slower because it is, that loot means something. You need it for things. So you're very precarious about what you're picking up.
Yeah.
And you are going to spend time in your backpack going, all right, I've only got 8 spots. This has got to go. I need this. I need that for an upgrade. I want that gun, not this gun. It's very particular about what you are picking up.
You mentioned that you have played like through the alpha and the playtest and stuff. This was the first weekend that I had got hands on with the game. So I had not touched Marathon. I actually, other than before I started playing Marathon, I had 25 hours total over 2 bouts. So it was like I played for a couple of days of Arc Raiders, when it first dropped. Long break with Renegades and everything that came out, and then cutting back to it recently, and then get into Marathon. I think I put about that same amount of time in Marathon now. What do you like, or like from those original playtests, did this server slam experience, did that fall below, meet, or exceed your expectations for what you were hoping? Maybe talk about like the actual gameplay side of things, and then the community sentiment around it as 2 separate pieces.
Massively exceeded. Holy moly. Going from the alpha where nothing had texture in any way, the cliffs were just like grey sludges on the wall, to the quality, like you see screenshots on Twitter here and there. It's crazy. To me, the game looks stunning.
Yeah.
There's a lot of discourse around the art, and I know there's going to be people in the comments going, well, it was stolen. And it's like, oh, okay. First of all, they've sorted that.
Yeah.
Obviously should have never been stolen in the first place. There should have been some barriers in place to check everything.
Sure.
However, it has been fixed. And people who keep using that point annoy me a smidge.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The detail on the walls, like, obviously, as a bit of a super fan, I'm sat there staring at the wall. I can see like little dirt patterns on the walls, and where the posters have torn, and where there's like little blood splatters, and it's like this. It's just that little attention to detail that's just perfect.
Sure.
Since the alpha, the game has come so far. The guns feel better. I remember in the alpha, the Vault weapons that use the blue Vault batteries felt terrible. They were horrible.
Really?
I would never pick one up. Now I would absolutely take one every time. They're great. They feel so much better. The abilities feel cleaner. It feels less clunky. It's smoother. Doors, those little things like how the doors open and how windows break, and those little tiny things that just feel better. The sound design, phenomenal. I could talk about that for days. It's the rain, the way your feet sound in rain, the way your footsteps sound depend on what type of ground you're on. If you're on like in a building or you're on the concrete outside, it's phenomenal to see how much the game has changed and evolved into this absolutely stunning piece of work. It's great. It's fabulous.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you think, even though as bad as you wanted Marathon, like, do you subscribe to the sentiment that like, hey, we are reaping the benefits of the fact that Bungie and Sony pumped the brakes and took the delay on it? Like, yeah, I feel like that's kind of popped out there as well. Here's a question. My last episode, I interviewed Jake the All Right, and we talked about like everything Marathon, but this was before the Server Slam. And so I asked him, what, like, from your perspective, I said, what would Bungie have to do for Marathon 1 year from now to be a success? Like, in your opinion. And I'll ask you the same question. Like, we look at March 2027 come around. They're probably in season 3 at that point, maybe about to hit season 4, you know, like, depending on how long those seasons are. What would it need to be for you to say, hey, this is a success?
I'm going to touch on the delay thing as well.
Okay.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Obviously, it's a big subject right now with Shadow and Order being delayed for 3 months.
Yeah.
And that's been a big shock to the Destiny community. We need that. We need that so bad. I waited 6 years for Hollow Knight Silksong to even get a trailer.
Sure.
Okay. To even get a little crumb of, oh, it's coming out. I will always, every single time, take a studio taking the time to make something better than release something in a terrible, half-baked state.
Yeah.
Every single time. Like, you see games released now, like The Last of Us 2, or The Last of Us released on PC a couple of years ago. Awful. Buggy, didn't run, it was terrible, they ported it from PS and it was awful. Take the time. Take the time to make something perfect. Marathon has improved tenfold, in my opinion, because of that delay. They need that. Shadow and Order needs the delay. There is no point releasing a nothing update because it's just going to infuriate people more. Take the time to make Pantheon 2. Take the time to cook on the armor sets and revamp the old raids, and take the time to make something better will always be my stance. I will always stand with that. Marathon in a year. Oh, God. I hope it's still good. This is me talking to my future self here. Marathon in a year. I don't want them to add a runner a season.
Okay.
So we just got our roadmap. That was yesterday, actually. We got our roadmap for Marathon. Yep. And they said, we're bringing season 1 after 2 weeks. We're introducing the new map after a day, yada, yada, yada. And they said, doing night raids. They said, we're doing a new runner. I do not want a runner every season. Marathon seasons are only 12 weeks, which is not very long for an extraction shooter, considering Tarkov is double that.
Sure.
If they add a runner every season, we're talking Apex Legends. We are talking Valorant. We're talking, it's ridiculously difficult to balance. We're talking 500,000 runners and 500,000 skins, and it's just like, I don't want that. I really hope they don't go down that route. Fingers crossed.
So one thing I do want to know about that roadmap. So I do think that it looked, at least from what I saw, because we have the Night Marsh. Is that right? Is it Night Marsh that's coming out? It's Nightfall, which I saw. I think Tassie said they just love this word. Like, they love the word Nightfall.
They're using it a lot.
Bungie in general. But I do think that, so that's coming with season 2. I think the new runner is actually coming with season 2 as well. Okay. So with that, I think that, that's very quick, right? Like, that's super quick for that to come as well. But you're spot on. But like, I think it would be weird if we had like 6 runners and then a half rook, and then we have, and then also inside of season 1 get one and do that. I think you're spot on. Did you happen to see, I don't want to spoil for anyone, but I just want to put it out there for the world. Did you happen to see that one Sony like article somewhere may have leaked the name of the runner? Yeah. All right. So if anyone actually wants to know, you are more than welcome to go get that on their own, but we will not spoil that. It is out there, and if you cross paths with it, you will say you're in the know, that you knew that existed. But I think that for me, the only thing that you can do, right, is you can look at the success of like other games, or you can look at the path of other games and kind of judge it on that standpoint. What would actually be a success for me, because historically Bungie has done a really good job with that second year update, right? So Destiny, we take that, Destiny 1 Vanilla, dropped down, had a little bump with the Dark Below, and then House of Wolves was really rough, and then we all of a sudden we're into, we're hitting the Taken King, and we're hitting it now. We're cooked.
We're back again.
Like, things are cooking. Like, we're going, and then we get into Destiny 2, and we have the same thing. Destiny 2 Vanilla was received well at first, steep drop off, and then we end up with Forsaken. In doing that, it would be interesting to see. Like, I'm really, 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 really hoping that they've taken time to map this out so they don't have that happen again. I don't need it to be a complete like line up, up and to the right, like the entire time. Like they can take times where, hey, we're gonna have to pull this back. This weapon's a little too strong. Hey, this may piss off the community a little bit, but like we know it's for the best, for the balance of the game, and this is what we're doing, and making those decisions that make clear sense, and continually communicating, which is something Bungie struggles with
a little bit.
they're really doing a good job communicating right now.
Yeah.
But you can tell they're hitting points, right? Like they're hitting beats that they already have. It's when things get off rails that Bungie struggles. Llama pointed out in our conversation about the delay we did a couple weeks ago. He pointed out like Bungie can really struggle with making their mind up sometimes. Like they'll commit to something, put comms out about it, and then they change their mind, and that struggles. I wanted to ask you something. This is actually something I had in mind even before I knew that you and I were going to. I was like, the next person I get on the podcast, I want to make sure that I can ask them this question because it's important. I think you're perfect for this. Bungie has frustrated the time out of me with folding to community sentiment with Destiny 2. There are plenty of times where things were difficult, things were not exactly like the community wanted them to be, and they fold to the detriment of the game. I think things with like power leveling, people getting really pissed with like, hey, the new level grind that we had during the Edge of Fate, well, we got no new power levels to grind. Thankfully, Renegades did not need that to be as good as it was, but I felt like it was them showing like no spine, right? Let me like, it's fine, guys. We'll take it out. We said we were doing a reset, whatever. It's fine. Like we'll remove it instead of like making and doubling down. I'm seeing a lot of that right now, where there's I don't even know if it's a minority, but there's a vocal group of players who experience the server slam. And they're saying, okay, the game's too hard. It's too rough early on. The TTK is too bad. All this. How do you feel about Bungie growing a spine and actually sticking to their guns? Because I feel like they really need to. But I want to know your sentiment from like your experience with Tarkov, like changes that they've had to make and stuff of that sort.
I think it's difficult. With Destiny, there are a lot of times where the community is right. And there have been times where I have 100% backed the community and been part of it saying, this is bad, this has got to go. You can't have this in the game.
Sure.
And I think with Destiny compared to Marathon, the updates we're talking two completely different kettles of fish. Your Destiny updates are campaigns. And you have the campaign that has to be good, right? You have the leveling system that has to be good around it. You have the 3 seasons that follow it that also have to have a good story and have to have good leveling and good activities. Marathon being an extraction shooter is honestly, in my opinion, a lot easier. Mm-hmm. You can literally set it going, leave it alone. Because you don't have to manage, there's no campaign to manage, there's no story. There is a story and there's lore, but they've built that. It's already built, it's done. They're drip feeding us little pieces of lore slowly. And they don't have to, the only things they have to keep on top of is stuff being broken.
Yeah.
Like, in the server slam, the thermals. Everybody's talking about the thermal on the sniper because it is ridiculous. I don't know how they're going to balance it. I have a couple ideas of like what I would do if I was in their position, but it's just one of those things that's pretty strong. In terms of the server slam complaints, oh boy, settle in. I'm here for a while. People, how do I word this? Destiny PvP streamers who have never touched an extraction shooter in their life are complaining about a lot of things that are just extraction shooter things.
Okay.
Which I really wish people would do an ounce of research before they started complaining. Because there's a lot of things that, say the TTK, for example. Yep. A lot of people talking about the time to kill and saying, well, it's too high. We're at the start of the game. We are on white shields, green shields. This is nothing. This is the first week, 2 weeks of the game. Mm. We are really early on. You have no upgrades. Your shells have no upgrades. You have no mods, no backpack, no gun upgrades. You have nothing because you have to build that. And that takes time, weeks of gathering materials, gathering credits, upgrading your factions. You know, you have to sit there with CyberAcme and upgrade how much vault space you have. And that takes so much time. You have to go through the contracts, and I think The only thing with the server slam that I'm kind of 50-50 about is people should have had a taste of the end game. Purple shields, gold shields, full out guns, full max shells. We're talking max heat. You have resistance to stuff. If you have a look at all the skill trees, you have, there's so much that people are complaining about that won't be a problem in 2 weeks' time after the game comes out, because we'll all be on better loot. The TTK is fine. You have no idea how hard the people in the alpha and the playtest have worked to bring it down. It was ridiculously high. It was so, you were in a fight for like 30 minutes. And you can't get third parties because you've got no ammo because you've used it all killing the first people.
Yep.
The TTK is in a good spot. If anything, it's like 5% up. It's a skill issue. You just got to be better at the game.
That's
you just got to be better at not dying.
That's fair.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And this is another complaint of a lot of people from the service line was, oh, it's too hard. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Your 10,000 hours in Destiny 2 did not just pop into your head overnight. You have taken time. You have taken years to learn this game. If I put a sheet in front of you that had Destiny 2 mods on, you'd be like, what the hell is this? If you'd just started the game.
Yep.
But me, you, Llama, anybody, all these PvP streamers who have played for the last 5-10 years are going to know immediately, yep, snapshot. It's not too hard. You've spent 4 hours playing it. You've got to put a bit more time in to learn how stuff works. How you're talking 6 shells. It's not 3 characters. It's not Warlock, Hunter, Titan.
Yeah.
6 shells, all with their own 3 abilities. It's like you've got a lot to go through. And it's a whole new genre that most people haven't played. And extraction shooters are a lot slower. And a lot of people complain, the third main complaint was there's not enough people to fight. And it's like, yeah, this is not supposed to be a battle royale. If you want to go play a battle royale, go play Apex. That's, go play Fortnite. Like,
I do think people are struggling with that. And I think I think I'm a part of that as well. Like I don't necessarily, I love the AI interaction. I mean, I died multiple times to just the AI just going in there and just like, I see one through this little crack in the door, and I'm going to step through there. Oh, shit, there is a world boss and 2. Yep. And that literally happened. I didn't even know world bosses existed. I didn't even know that was a thing. And I see these two robots come in with their big yellow, like, flamboyant things off of their back, and I'm like, they just absolutely, like, stunted on me. Yeah, and I'm like, there's nothing I could do. I was out, and, like, run it back, you know what I mean? And that was what it was. But I do think that we're in an ecosystem where I fired up Arc Raiders for about 2.5 hours yesterday. I accidentally shot a person one time while we were fighting the enemy together. Like, that's the only PvP interaction we had, right? And there's a ton of people on any given map at any time there, and so it feels weird, like we're in this weird, like, situation where for extraction shooter, I know Tarkov's not the only extraction shooter that has ever existed, but in the zeitgeist it feels like it has been, at least like getting outside of the genre. And all I had ever heard is like, oh my god, it's so brutal, oh my god, it's so realistic, oh my god, like what you said, like the learning curve is not a curve at all, it's a straight brick wall that you have to find a way to climb and do whatever. So Arc Raiders made me a believer, like, okay, maybe there's a world where extraction shooters can become more mainstream, because the conversation around, even before Marathon got delayed, was like, they've missed the boat, like extraction shooters are gone. And then I think Arc showed that that's not necessarily true, right? Like, a good game's good game, and like people will play it and do it. Do you think that I don't know how to phrase this exactly, but like, do you think that like players are going to stick with this game long enough to get to the point that you're saying? Because I know you're true. I know you're right. And the reason I know you're right is when Peanut and Gingy are streaming with Ziegler, they're not using the same kits we are. They're using purple gear. They're using that kind of stuff, and that looked fun as hell. You know, and then Drewski puts his video, Operator Drewski puts his video out, you know, has over 400,000 views now. They're using sponsored kits as well that are not, you know, They're not the depleted patch charges that I'm scraping. I'm like, I feel like it's like a used Band-Aid sitting on the ground. I use a spatula to get it up, and I'm like, okay, well, that gave me about 2 points of HP, and that's about all the healing I got.
I gotta go.
Do you think, or like, what is your sentiment around, like, do we think that people are actually going to stick with it long enough to get there? What is your call to people about that?
I hope so. I think people need to. Marathon will not be for everybody. And I have said this before. I think Ziegler said this. It's not for everybody. That's fine. That's completely okay. I even said the last YouTube video I made was an introduction to Marathon, because I'm swapping from Destiny content into Marathon. I wanted something in between to introduce Marathon to my YouTube channel. And in it, I think one of the first lines I do say is extraction shooters aren't for everybody, because they're not. Arc Raiders has done a great job of making it very casual. I don't enjoy Arc Raiders that much. Okay. I have played 30 hours-ish, and I've played with other quite large Arc Raider streamers. I played with Fallout quite a lot, and I played with these other people that know the game, and I'm just there for, like, fun vibes, I'll shoot shit, don't die.
Sure.
And Arc Raiders has done a very good job of making it casual and making it so anybody can play it. But it has also made people soft. Marathon should be hard. And I want Marathon to be hard. Like, Tarkov, while it is this big staple in the extraction shooter genre, it's incredibly niche. Not that many people play Tarkov because it is so difficult, and that learning curve takes thousands of... Like, I have nearly 1,000 hours in Tarkov. I know nothing. I know nothing compared to these other people, like Pestily and Gingy and Becky, and, you know, I am a baby, even at 1,000 hours, and even knowing every map like the back of my hand, it doesn't matter. It's such a time sink to find that knowledge. I think Marathon is a good balance in the middle. It gives you sponsored kits that are free kits that'll let you explore in the way that you want. The way you build up your factions, that you build any gear back that you've lost. It's not that unforgiving. Yeah. Yes, there's no insurance. I know a lot of people have asked about that. In Tarkov, you pay to insure your things, and if you drop them in a corner, there's a chance that they'll come back to you if nobody's picked them up. Not a thing in Marathon, but I think it's fine because of the amount of gear and if you level your factions up, they will just fill you full of loot regardless. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It might not be for everybody, and a lot of people, the drop-off will be, maybe not significant, there will be a drop-off. There definitely
I'm already
will
dreading Tassie's post about
Steam
playing.
Charts.
Dude, I hate it so much.
I hate Mute Steam Charts. Hate that shit.
Yeah, honestly, that is probably the most base take we could have. Go on your Twitter right now. Pause the video. Well, don't pause until I give you the instruction. Go to your Twitter and mute the fucking word Steam Charts because we hate it so much. All right, pause. All right, you're back. We'll keep going.
I hate Steam Charts. I hate Steam Charts because it's so toxic and it builds up this suffocating aura of, well, it needs player numbers or it's bad. And it's like, no, it's not. It's not how it works.
People are trying to take it as empirical evidence of their worldview, right?
Yeah.
Like, so they take this and they look at it and they say, well, if this doesn't match this, then that means it's a failure or a success or whatever. And the truth of the matter is, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes at all these game companies. So, like, with an influx of things from, of money or whatever from Sony, like, what does Bungie actually need everything to hit? Like, should we as a player base be concerned with, okay, well, we surpassed this, so then, like, people are hitting bonuses, stuff like that. Like, I can't do that, right? Like, I can't buy enough copies to make sure that, like, this gets 3 or 4 more seasons, right? Yeah. All I can do is make an educated decision. That's why I was trying to push people. I'm like, hey, I don't want to hear a single person complain about the fact that they bought Marathon and they regret it, when the week before we had almost an entire week to play, right? Like, we had 4 or 5 days, whatever it was, to get in there and get hands-on with the game. And so it gets frustrating to me when people get in there. They're like, this game should have been free to play, whatever. And I'm like, dude, like, it was. there is a cost. Yeah, it was for that time, but there is a cost associated with making things in the world. And I think as a community, because those same people would be so frustrated if that was a free to play game. They'd be frustrated when every single thing in the game is monetized, right? But then I was super impressed by every faction having an outfit, or like having customization options for Nucloric and Syak or whoever, and you can rep that. And as long as you go in and exfil with one of their free kits, like getting that option, I was like, that's cool. Those are great. Those are great, customization options. I like the Traxxas. I like the black and orange. Some people don't, some people do, but like that's where I lean. And I think that that's super fun. Like there are so many layers, like meta layers of fun with this game. So not just like the playing the game, but like the siding with different factions in the game and siding with the different runners in the game and having that. And so I did want to ask you, like to kind of wrap up the conversation today, like where do you come down on that? Like what are your factions you stand for? What are the runners that, like, who are you looking forward to the most, or like who impressed you the most with this Server Slam build?
I've always been excited about the lore behind the game, and all the factions have their own individual reasons for being stakes in this, expedition to go to Tau Ceti.
Yep.
Arachne holds the most aura for me.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool.
Death Cult? Come on. A game about PvP and fighting each other, and they made a death religion. Like, what? It's just perfect. It ties in perfectly.
It's so cool.
And the way that my favorite thing about Marathon is the way that they've tied it to the original games. And every aspect has just a little bit of the original trilogy in there that you can pull forward into the games now. And if you didn't know anything about the original trilogy, it's some pretty colors and some really sick cutscenes. But if you know, then it's like, oh my god, that's from this in the original game. And oh, this is referencing this. And the trailer that came out yesterday has this compiler that has a lot of potential to be some really cool individuals. And it has so much depth that for me, Arc Raiders doesn't have, and the other games just don't have. It's not even just Arc Raiders. To me, Marathon has these layers of incredible art design and incredible faction design and sound design and all of these things that are surrounding, an extraction shooter sets this apart from other things. And the community sentiment on that has improved massively.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm so happy. We went into the alpha with a lot of negativity, and we came out of it, and Bungie said, all right, we've heard it, we'll fix it. To me, they fixed it. We came out of this server slam, and 90% of my timeline has flipped. Yeah. People who were hating on the game have been like, well, I spent $60 and I bought it. Like, yep, you've been stolen.
And you'd be like, wait, the base level is only $40. So you really liked it. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
But Marathon has this. It is depth. I keep using the word depth, but it's fantastically fruitful in everything that it possesses. If you go in for the PvP, then fine, you like the PvP aspect, the looting and the ratting and trying out the different shells. That's that aspect. And the factions, the design of them, the way they speak to you, their stakes in it, how you can tell that something's not quite right, but you don't know yet, and you need to keep playing because, well, I need to find out what's going on. There's something weird happening on Tau Ceti, and I don't know what it is yet. It's fabulous, and it pulls me in so much, and I think I've heard that from a lot of other people.
Have you played either of the? Well, I don't know if you would be able to talk about it if you have, but like, have you touched any of the like maps that have not been, like, I don't know, in like those playtests? Okay, all right. So she's not said anything.
I'm allowed to tell people that I was in the last playtest, the NDA one. You're allowed to tell people that you've played it.
Okay.
Lots of people know that Outpost was on there. Cannot tell you how I feel about it.
That's fine. I was interested because I think I had a weird lead up to the Server Slam personally with Marathon because like I saw everything coming out and I knew I wanted to try it. So I didn't want to watch anything and then like start having any kind of creeping thoughts either way. So I kind of wanted to go in with a blank slate. And then as we got closer, like I think that for anyone who's not watched it, I think I mentioned this on last week's podcast as well, but that Operator Drewski video, I think we may look back. I don't know. Have you watched that? Did you watch his video? So it was just a gameplay video that Bungie sponsored. He originally I hadn't watched his channel, but I have viewers who had watched his channel before, and they're like, I love his content. I love the way he does it. And so grabbing POV from like himself and then the two others that were playing with him and then cutting all of that together in the time, like splitting between different people and things. But he says something very poignant at the beginning. He said, Bungie sponsored this video. And the reason I tell you that is because I need to, but also because I did not like the early playtests. And I never thought I would get another, because he said I was outspoken about that. And they came to me and they did this. I think that video alone, when we didn't have the ability to get hands-on with the game yet, no one else had really, the camaraderie that him and his teammates had, what they portrayed, they showed like, hey, this is what actual like fun marathon runs, the energy that you can have when you get in there, the abilities, showing little, squish or whatever we're calling the little robot thing. I've seen Discord back and forth, so I'm not going to go behind either side, but they've shown what that actually looks like. Using Triage's ult to res from across the way, or using Thief's butterfly drone. That was one of the coolest shots. The butterfly drone goes out. There's someone who's kind of peek shooting out onto a balcony. And they had the drone, and the drone's just whipping stuff out of their backpack, and it whips the heals out, and they're trading fire, and that person tries to creep back out onto the balcony to get their heals back, and they just snipe them as soon as they come out. I'm like, okay, that is cool. That is cool, and that like lit me up. I'm like, let's go, like let's do it. Now my experience was not that, right? Like, because I was just not that good at the game, and like just. Like you said, you pointed out earlier, like, hey, we're on like gray shields, green shields, like all this base level stuff. They were not, right? Like they're on purples and they have all this gear that they're bringing in with them. But I think that video in and of itself was like very strong. It has over 400,000 views on it. It was very, very effective. And I think that Bungie, from the marketing side of things, has done a phenomenal job at allocating allocating money towards these assets that can help bolster the game in the community. Way more than they have ever done, I've seen, at least since Destiny 2 released, like for any expansion. I mean, they'll do these pushes, but never like this, and trying to do these onboarding. So I did want to talk to you because you brought it up maybe as like a little last piece here. How have you felt about Bungie's approach to the marketing? And like, I mean, that music video with Poppy yesterday was like crazy. So sick, and the fidelity of like the cinematic piece. Like, how have you felt about that? Like them regaining this positive sentiment.
I love it. So happy. I have been called many things, including a shill. I have loved this game since they dropped the first trailer 3 years ago, and I knew nothing about it. I love the art style. I love that it's going to be an extraction shooter. It's going to be Bungie gunplay. I'm in no matter what we do, I'll play it. So I've always had, or tried to have, a positive outlook. Even, I played the alpha and I was like, all right, we should change this, and this needs tweaking, and that needs tweaking. And the marketing has been phenomenal. Like, the music cinematic when we were watching it, my favorite company for these types of things is Riot. Riot Games make some crazy stuff. Like, you're talking Valorant cinematics and League cinematics, some of the best we've seen in the business, in my opinion. In the gaming industry, Riot has got it. This to me rivaled that. This to me was, we are talking top quality. That cinematic from yesterday, the music video, was incredible. I took 1,000 screenshots. Yeah. It was the art alone and the music, and Poppy, in my opinion, was a really good choice, depending on how familiar people are with Poppy.
Yeah, I was not.
Great choice. Yeah. Great choice. Like, incredible. She's very weird, in like a really good way. Sure. She's phenomenally odd, and I think that's what's great about her and what fits this perfectly well. It's darker, it's harsher. It's not, it needs that edge on it. I think the marketing team have done a fantastic job. Yeah. The cinematics that came out about the runner shells, the Destroyer cinematic, made me want to play Destroyer, and I've never been interested at all about playing him. It was just the quality that we're running with right now is so fabulous to see from Bungie. It's great.
I need a core or something that's going to let me shield bash. Like
Yeah.
I the amount of times that I ran at people, like I didn't play with Destroyer much, but that should go to show you, like I need something, because every single time basically I use that ability, I was trying to ram someone with it. I don't even need it to do a ton of damage. I need it to give me pushback. Like I need it to send that person like flying off. I think that would be really cool. So, well, Lumi, thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate, just being able to nerd out about this stuff. I'm very glad that we both took the time to kind of reach out in the DMs, get outside of that thing so we could collaborate on that and do that. So guys, thank you for all watching and enjoying. If you're still here, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Until next time, be blessed, y'all.